Today we're going to look at kites and specific properties of kites. So I have a kite here, and a kite, the properties are it has two sets of consecutive sides that are congruent. So what I mean is this side here is the same as this side here, they're congruent, and this side here is congruent to this side over here. So it has two sets of consecutive sides that are congruent. Now these two sides are not congruent. That's what makes kites unique. The diagonals of a kite are perpendicular, so I do have the diagonals here. We'll show those now. They are perpendicular, so what that means is where they meet is a 90-degree angle. So you can put that little box in there that shows that those are 90 degrees. And then it also has one pair of opposite angles congruent. And what I mean by that, I'll switch to red here, is that this angle is the same as this angle. But the top angle and the bottom angle are not the same. So it only has one pair of opposite angles that are congruent. And then one of the diagonals is bisected, but the other is not. So I mean, this one is cut in half, but this is not the same as this. So the one going vertically here is not bisected. This is obviously much shorter than this part. So I want to say this half, so like it's not half anymore. This looks like it's maybe a third, and this is almost 2/3. Okay, but it's not a third and 2/3. It's just in this one it looks like it's pretty close. And then it has one symmetry line, and that is the one going up and down here. That's this vertical line. The other horizontal line is not a symmetry line. If you fold it over, it will only go like to here. All right, so let's look at a few more things. So I've got an example here, and I want to see if we can fill in the missing angles and sides based on what I just showed you. So let's label this stuff. Angle DCB is 36. So what I mean is this angle down here, the whole thing is 36. So I'll just kind of draw an arrow to it. And I'm talking about the whole angle is 36 degrees. And then the top angle up here is 124. So this angle up here is 124. All right, it also tells us that AD is 7 and DC is 13. So let's start with the sides. The sides, the only two sides that we can figure out on this particular example are AB and BC. So AB is 7 because these two are the same, and then BC is 13 because these two are the same. And now this side here and this side here, we don't have enough information right now to solve it. We could, there is a way to solve this using some trigonometry, but we're not quite there yet. So for now, we don't have enough tools to figure out what these two sides are. Okay, so let's start working on the angles, and I'll do angles in red again. So, if this down here is 36, and this line going up and down is a symmetry line, that means it cuts it right in half. It bisects the angle. So half of 36 is 18. So that means each part here is 18 degrees. All right. And then I also said earlier in this video that the diagonals are perpendicular. So all of these angles here are 90 degrees. So we have a bunch of right triangles here. So with that information, we can figure out this angle right here, and we can figure out this angle right here. Each of these triangles, remember triangles have to add up to 180 degrees. So we get 18 degrees, 90 degrees, and then we got to figure out what this one is. So we'll go 18 plus 90, and we get 108. And then if they all have to add up to 180, we'll take 180 and take away 108, and we get 72. So that tells me that this angle here is 72 degrees, and this one's the same thing, 72 degrees. And we can always check by adding 72 plus 18 plus 90 and make sure that that does add up to 180. And indeed it does. Okay, so let's look at the top part. If this is 124, then each one, once again, is bisected. So they're half of 124. So 124 divided by 2 is 62 degrees. So this is 62. This is also 62. And then to figure out the last angle that we don't know, these are going to be the same. These triangles are identical. And so they all three have to add up to 180. So we're going to go 180, take away 62, take away 90, and that, well, added these together gives us 152. So 28 degrees is what's left over. So 28 here and 28 there. All right, so that's kites. Hopefully that helps you understand kites a little better.